Good day, everyone. Welcome to this edition of Let's Talk Networking. I'm Terry Lee Harrison, and I am passionate about helping coaches, consultants, and solopreneurs be able to network in the most dynamic and lucrative way. As you know, this week, all across my social media, we're talking about getting more done and hiring VAs and delegating and just being able to reduce the overwhelm in your business. And boy, do I have a treat for you today. My Shelly Dechant is with us. Welcome, Shelly.
Hi, how are you doing? Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's so great to have you here. What Shelly brings to the table in this conversation is that she is an OBM. And so I'm just going to throw that out there, lob it out to the audience and say, do you know what that means? Because the truth is, I didn't. Like what I remember being in networking meetings with Shelly, and she kept talking about, I'm studying for my OBM, I'm studying for my, and I'm like, what in the world is that? And the truth is, Shelly, you didn't know what it was in the beginning either, did you?
No, I'd been doing it for a while without realizing that there was actually a position that was called that. So, yeah, it doesn't surprise me that there are quite a few people.
Who knew? Yes. So what I love about the conversation that I've been having is we started off like talking with a VA, like somebody who like informing our business owner friends that are ready to like level up and hire their first person. And maybe that's even part-time, or maybe it's for a project, right? And then there's the people that might be ready to progress into something more full-time. And then I think there's going to be people listening that I think there's something for everyone here. There's going to be people listening that when they hear what you're up to, they're going to be like, this is exactly what I need. So Shelly, tell us, what is an OBM? What do you do? Yeah, we'd love to hear more.
All right. So an OBM stands for Online Business Manager, and it is exactly what it sounds like. We have more than one world going on these days. We've got our own personal world. We've got our business world, and maybe that includes having an actual brick and mortar business with your clients and your employees, and you're in there managing them all the time. And then over the last couple of years, and definitely because of COVID, you've got your online world, which has had to grow exponentially because of our circumstances and because of the way that we're believing now that we can actually work from home and get work done online. And so an OBM has actually been around for 10 years.
Oh, well, I feel dumb, but go ahead.
I didn't know it either, right? My background was virtual assisting. But I was always a step up from that, looking for the little bit extra ways that I could help my clients. And I would get a lot of times, it's like, you're more than just an OBM, right? Like, are you really an OBM, or is there something else? And then all of a sudden I heard about a virtual assistant. And then all of a sudden I heard about OBM, and I realized that's exactly what it is. So there's, again, like virtual assisting, there are tons of different OBMs out there. In my case, I do a lot of strategizing, back-end office work, creating operations. That is kind of my jam, and where I come from in the military is operations and training, and systemizing things, because we only have two hands in 24 hours. Yep. And when we're spread so thin, and then you add the online world to it, you really don't have 2 hours and 24 hours, right? 2 hands and 24 hours, you have even less. Yeah. And so having somebody who can come in, maybe you've got a couple of virtual assistants, maybe you've got one who's your tech VA, and then you also have a social media manager. You may have a copywriter. I classify them all into the VA world. You may have an administrative assistant, again, in VA. But now you find yourself bogged down with all of those people that you also have to manage while you're doing everything else. And that in itself can be a challenge. So having somebody who's an online manager, who knows how to keep teams together, making sure that you're working with the correct team, and really taking away those day-to-day activities that you would normally have to do yourself, can actually be done by somebody else, because the OBM comes in and they get to really dig into your business. You get to have that shared brain experience. Yep. Instead of sitting inside a box, which a lot of us find ourselves, that need to brainstorm and say, hey, I got this great idea. Now, how do I make sure that I don't lose track and I go off on that idea and I've missed the plot on what's actually going on in my business right now? Or how do I introduce a new idea into the mix that I already have? And there's already so much going on.
Yep.
So that's the benefit that we bring as OBMs. That
Do you know what I love about this is a lot of times we come to that point in our business where this is exactly what we need, that strategic person inside of our business to be able to bounce the ideas off of, someone that will reel me back in and say, wait a minute, right?
We call them expanders and containers, right?
Okay.
So an expander is a person who comes up with phenomenal ideas. I have a client, she is amazing at going to sleep. And when she wakes up, she's got a whole plan completely made. And I will get a call, as you can imagine. She's quite excited. She's got everything. She knows exactly from the start to the end of her vision. And then I become the container because she's the expander, right? She's literally expanding her business. But now she needs somebody to say, okay, great. A phenomenal idea, like, wow, powerhouse idea. How are we going to fit this in what you're currently doing? Is it can it go alongside something that you currently have? Is it a completely new project? And maybe we have to plan it, but push it off for a couple of weeks or a month? Or do we have a space for it right now?
Yep.
And then what are all those steps that are included? Because we both know, I think that whenever you're an entrepreneur of any type, that aha moment comes, and it's hard. Yeah. It's hard to not want that pretty new coin. And you know that pretty new object is going to bring you something. And it's just about making sure that it brings it in the right way at the right time with the right structure so that you can see success in it.
Yeah, so good. So good. So to continue to paint the picture of an OBM, this is what I understood. So let's have you elaborate on this. But what I understood is that definitely and it's not we need the VAs. It's so you're not just a VA, but we need them. We need them. So the truth is, as an OBM, Shelly, you are hiring VAs. And then in addition, who is a great referral partner that works well with this whole mix would be like the business coach may refer, right? And may introduce you, right? And say, hey,
absolutely.
Yep. So chat about all this mix so people understand.
So a coach is a phenomenal partner for an OBM, not only for their own business, for themselves, because again, we all have this concern. I have it myself. I've got to find myself a VA, and I will end up pulling in an OBM onto my team because I'm going to require it too in the not too distant future. But a coach has a really intrinsic connection with an OBM, because when a coach is out there and they're getting their people in the right mindset, they're getting them to understand what their bodacious goal is and making sure that they are settled into that feeling that they require to push them forward. It can sometimes slide off the plot when the person then goes home to do all of the things, the steps, the action steps that are now required. They've got the plan, they have the belief, they have everything that a business coach can provide, but now they need those action steps. And that's where we come in. And I do day packages so that you can literally get all of your steps and plan it out over, say you were giving it a month, and then you get to go home with knowing exactly what the steps are, when you have to have them done by, maybe who needs to be doing them, because again, we know it can't always be you, or probably shouldn't always be you. So I love working with a coach that says, hey, Shelly, can you come in? I'm at the point where my client, they're exactly where I need them to be. They're running their business well. I can see they're overwhelmed, but they are in the right frame of mind. We just now need to get those action steps moving forward. And that's when I'll come into a meeting, because I get that front row seat about the excitement and what they're really looking for, that extra brain dump that
Yes.
allows me to jump into the mix quickly. Because the
Yes.
alternative to that, which I do quite a bit, but the alternative to that is we end up having a brain dump day
Mm-hmm.
where I need to know so much information so that I can help you move forward in the correct manner. So yeah, coaches are phenomenal. Podcasters, anybody who finds themselves at that point where they just don't have two more hands and they
Yeah.
don't have 24 more hours, or
Yeah.
they can't get their people to stay task oriented. There are plenty of VAs out there who are not 100% task oriented, and they, like myself, I called myself a VA for 14 years,
Mm-hmm.
um, but I wasn't just straight up task oriented.
Mm.
But the definition
Yep.
of a virtual assistant is that they are a task oriented person. You give them a specific task, they go away, they complete the task, and they say, here's my task, it's completed. Now, can you give me something else to do? Okay, here's my task, it's completed. Can you give
Yes.
me something else to do? And that can be challenging for busy people to be going, man, why can't I, why does she keep coming to me? Or why does he keep coming to me asking for more stuff? When I know what the vision is and I know what the plan is, then I become the intermediary.
Right.
And that opens up time for you to be more bodacious or take a vacation or get whatever time you need back.
Yep.
Use however you want.
Yeah. This is so good. Okay. So, oh, you briefly mentioned it. So when people work with you, I heard that if we needed a day session, we could have a day session, but described as the different ways, because this is always a question I think that people have, right? Is, well, I only have a need to start for this, or hey, I'm ready for full on this. So describe to us a little bit about like what that looks like when it comes to your services. It doesn't mean that that's what all OBMs do necessarily, but paint a picture for us so that we have that understanding, if you would.
Correct. So from an OBM standpoint, I will say that the important part is a really good fit,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because you are working really closely together.
Yep.
And you do learn to let go a little, and that can be challenging for people. And so that need to know that the person that you're working with is a good fit for you and your business is important. So that's the reason why I put out VIP days.
Yes.
It allows people to start to feel comfortable. It allows me to get comfortable because, again, a good fit goes both ways.
Yes, it
Right?
does. Mm-hmm.
And personalities are personalities. So
Yes.
making sure that you are a good fit on both sides makes the relationship work better, makes work better. So an example of one of my VA days would be you have a plan. You have something that you want to launch, but you don't have time to actually launch it. So we take a day or maybe a day and a half. We meet, we do that brain dump that needs to be done so that I have an understanding, a clear understanding of what you're looking for. I take that information away. We meet again around lunchtime, whatever time that happens to be for us, where I show you a structure of what it could be. We discuss back and forth to make sure that, I haven't lost the plot, because between listening and understanding, the plot can change. And then I go back and I complete that. What's the word that I'm coming for? The processes that are all in a row to get you from point A to point Z. We meet again at the end of the day. And at that point, you get to take that whole plan and look it over. And then you can say, hey, Shelly, you know what? You may have different VAs, the ones that I pointed out. And in this structure, I have said, okay, this person needs to do this and it needs to be done by this time. This person can do this and it needs to be done by this time. But maybe you don't have those people. Maybe you don't have them, right? And you're going to plan on doing it yourself. You can go and do that, or you can ask me to create a team for you, or we can work with the team that you currently have. But everything then falls in your court, and you get to decide, am I looking to work more with Shelly Dechant, Or or I think I can cover this off with just my team.
Yeah. Okay, this is so good. All right, so I think that for the people listening who did not get what OBM does, I think that we've painted an amazing picture to begin to have that understanding. So if you had one more thing to add that we haven't talked about the benefits of an OBM, just one thing that we felt we missed, what would that one more thing be?
That's a good question, because I think we covered a lot.
We might have. Hey, and we might have,
OBM
Shelly.
is, right?
Maybe. Yeah.
I guess the only thing that I would add is, because my background was tech VA, so really we're talking about me more than just OBM in general.
Yeah.
One of my joys is to be able to take a look at a program. I would have been classified as a tech VA, and being able to go in and learn how to use a program and then teach somebody how to use that. That is another service that I provide, whether it's a program that I currently know how to use, or whether it's one that you need somebody to learn and focus directly towards the action that you're trying to complete. So that is always the way that I go about teaching a program, is what are you trying to get done? Now let's build that into this program, whatever the program is. And now I will teach you what you need to know specifically to complete those actions. And through that learning, you will have what you require to not only complete the project that you needed the program for, but it also allows you to learn and get excited about that program, so that you can delve in and learn a little bit more and not feel so overwhelmed by them.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. So Shelly, if people are resonating with you and they're like, oh my gosh, I need to talk to her, how do you want them to contact you? What's the best way?
The best way to contact me is by email at shelly@hellovrplus.com. And we can make an appointment just to chat. I am like you, love networking. So the chatting is always a first stop. I don't charge for that. We get to figure out whether there's anything there for us to work together on, and we move on from there.
That sounds amazing. That sounds amazing. Well, I want to thank you for educating us today more on OBMs. I knew what I knew, and I've even learned more. So excited to hear from you. And regarding just the whole discussion on virtual assistants, everyone, and this whole concept, I want to invite everyone to our virtual team global gathering. It happens this Thursday, North America time at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, and that translates into Friday morning, Melbourne, Sydney at 9 a.m. This is an opportunity for an hour of global online networking, followed by a panel on Get More Done, how to hire VAs, how to delegate, and how just to reduce your overwhelm. So you can find out more information at vteamgathering.com. That's vteamgathering.com. The link is in the post here. We'd love to see you there. Thank you, Shelly, for being my guest today. So great to have you.
Love to have you ask me. Thank you very much, Tara-Lee. Have a great day.
Oh, so happy for the chat. And everyone, as always, we'll see you on the next edition of Let's Talk Networking, and let's go out, let's cheer each other on and help each other grow.